Right, back out again. I'm just going to have a little bit of a go today. I've been out today, been to Bunnings to get some stuff to build my greenhouse. But while I was there, I bought this. Well, it's going to be easier to cut the sides with rather than use that big fuck off saw. I'm going to use this, and I think it's going to work if I just put the stuff I want to put in there and clamp a block next to it so I can use it as a guide for the saw. So that'll make life a whole lot easier for me. So I started to cut that off a bit, but I thought I'm going to leave that because you've got the thickness of the back here. It's going to cut down at an angle, and you can see where it is starting to cut. So at least I can get it to go this way, but that's okay. I'll sand that off. I can sand it off easy enough. But I might just work on getting these cut today and get the bits glued in, and that'll do me. So stay tuned. Right, I've gone around, cut all those. Some of them might be a little narrow, but that's fine because then I'll just cut the wood to fit. So I'm going to go through now with the chisel and take all of those out. And then I'll go and cut, not that one, wherever the small, I've got heaps of that 12x12 left, and I'll poke it in those holes there. That one's a bit wider because that one was worn worse. These others should be alright. So, let me do those. I'll put you somewhere so you can have a sticky beak. Righto, that's those done. Now I'm going to go and cut all these bits up for it, and we'll come back when I'm ready to glue them in. Now I've got all these done, just solely to fit each one, the ones that needed to be trimmed down. That one's still, oh no, that one will tap in. So I'm just going to, one at a time. So that'll be about it for today. So I'll do this like I was doing the other stuff, slowly and steadily. I don't want to rush anything. But again, this is not going to take it's not going to be a huge project. So, you know, I'm only probably a day off finishing the woodwork, and then I've got to sand it and lacquer it. So I'll probably sand it, lacquer it, then sand it, and then lacquer it again. So there we go. That's it for the day. Otherwise, I could have got more done, but I had to go down to buy the stuff for my greenhouse. That video will come later on when I'm finished it, but I'm going to start on that when this is done. I don't want to start too many projects all at once because it's a bit too far ahead of yourself. And the glass should be here today for Amit's order. If you haven't been watching that on YouTube on my channel, or you can order my channel if you're watching this. But check out the bill for his stuff. The glass should be here today, so I'll go finish it off, get it all cleaned up, polished, ready for him to pick up on the weekend. So, yeah. I don't think that's going to look too bad. Because it's on every corner, so it'll look like it's supposed to be there, even if you can see it now. We'll see, eh? We'll see. That one should have cut forward a little bit. There we go. Just enough forward so I can sand them off. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I can do with the flat oil. Anyway, I'm talking to myself. Fucking talking too much again. So, alrighty, I'll call it a day. Tomorrow I'll come out and finish those off, nail the guides in, and then fit everything and make sure everything fits alright. And then I shall start dressing, sanding it and making it look pretty. And one thing I didn't get today while I was in Bunnings, no, I'll go and get it from my 10, so it's all good. Was some varnish to put on it. I do have some wood stuff here that I did my daughter's table for her. Where the hell is it? It's wood finishing oil, it's not lacquer. So, I know I've got, oh there it is. Burnishing oil or something, is it fucking called? This shit, hard burnishing. So you might look alright with that too. Stinks like fuck. Jesus, it stinks. But it brings it up nice, so that might even work even better, I think. I've got plenty there, so do that and give it a couple of coats of burnishing oil. See how it looks. Alrighty, that'll do for me. I'll shut up now. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Peace. Okay, next day, everything goes to take all of these clamps off, and I'm going to start trimming these down. So when I work out how the frig I'm going to do it, I'll bring you back. Once that's done, then I'm going to start doing the sides. So stay tuned. Right, I've trimmed them off and sanded them a little. I even sand, but I've only got really fine, only a 240 grit in my vibrating sand, so I'll have to go back into town and get something a little bit, you know, maybe 120 to hit it with, but that's fine for now. That'll give me enough that I need to put those things inside. So let me get a couple in, then I'll bring you back. Stay tuned. Righto, there we go. All in. I've got to pull them back out. I mean, the bottom's got to be sanded just a touch to bring them down. So it's a bit closer to the top. Same here. So that draws bowed a little bit. You can see it's got a slight gap here, but it's touching here. There's really not a lot I can do with that. I'm just going to take the bottoms off a little bit. That's okay, that's fine. They're a little bit proud, which is what I wanted. So that looks a damn sight better than what it did when I started. Just hang on a sec, let me pull some drawers out. And these guides. I had to sand this one a little bit before it didn't go in, so that's okay. As you can see it's just a little bit higher. They slide in and out perfectly, so I'm going to pull them out anyway while it's drying. And this drawer needs gluing and clamping, so I'll do that as well and leave it overnight. Not there, but it's at the back. One of the dovetails has come loose. So, so that's it for the day. I'm going to let that dry. And then tomorrow I'll come out. Well, I'm going to duck in this afternoon and get some more sandpaper and some putty, some wood putty. Tomorrow I can start sanding it and see what I'm going to do. Either just with that burnishing oil or lacquer. I'll see. So I'm going to try and get this shit out of here. You see, it does break off a little, but I don't know if I can get something. I might even be able to run my fucking router down there and just redo that. Take that out and just put another shape in there. Maybe a concave or something. But I have got a bullnose tip left in the router. I'll see, because I might be able to get right up into that corner, so might just have to clean that by hand. So there we go, eh? Alrighty, that's it for the day. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Peace. Righto, new morning, new start. Yesterday I went out and got some 80 grit paper, which will help a heap, and some wood filler, which you see I've filled in. I'm going to sand. It'll probably need to be filled again in places. The sides, it's a bit of a shit to get to spread. I think it's a little bit dry, but it's acrylic, it's water based, so I'll put a few drops of water in there and that should soften it up. So I'm going to give it a good sand. That's the drawer that I fixed. It's dry. So I'm going to start sanding, see what sort of progress I can make with this. Should be fine, and I've got the 240 to finish it off, so save you the boredom watching me sand this shit. I'll bring you back when I've done some and see how we're travelling. Stay tuned. Well, I had an epiphany. I started sanding, and I did a bit. I went around, but I thought, fuck it, I need some coarser paper to get it, the varnish and everything off it. And then I went in there to get it, and I was looking at the paint stripper, and I thought, you dumb bastard, I've got paint stripper. Orbital sander and give it a run over and see how that looks. So you can see where someone's tried to strip it before. There's a whole heap, all these fucking weird ass scratch marks here. So that's going to make life a lot easier. Like, that's not all of it. I mean, the rest of it's on the floor, sticking to my shoes, ready to be tramped inside the house. So, and I've got a damp rag to try and wipe it all down, but it's fucking pain in the ass. So I'm just going to start at the other end where it's probably already dried, to a degree and start sanding there. Start on that end there and see how it looks. I'll bring you back in a minute when I've done a little bit of sanding. Stay tuned. Right, that looks a heap better, doesn't it? Look at that. I went around the whole lot. I'm going to put another sheet in now and go over it again. That side didn't come as clean, but I fucked up. I forgot to scrape that and sanded it and load up my paper. But it's working good, so I'm going to go over it one more time with the 40, then lift it down and do the top, and that'd probably even do me for the day, I think. I want to get this down a bit better too, but it's almost there. So I reckon by the time I hit that with the 80 and then the 240, it's going to come up nice and smooth. And I worked out what I'm going to do. I'm not going to burnish it. I'm going to stain it. Stain plus lacquer. You can buy them together. So I'll stain it a darker colour. I kind of fucked up with that putty because it's a bit bright, but the stain should take care of that. So yeah, I'm going to get the other piece of paper and get into it, and I'll bring you back when I've got the top ready to go. Righto, I've done. Gone and sanded, and I've gone around and hit it with the putty again. I might come out after lunch and just take all the accessories off those drawers and the blocks out of them, so I can start stripping and sanding them. But there's a few little places that I've found. There was a crack. I've glued that one, but like the crack was a bit wide up the top, so it shouldn't spread any further. So I filled it. So tomorrow I'll get into it with the 80 grit and go over it several times, probably 3 or 4 times, and then drop it to the floor, do the top, give it the same treatment as the bottom, then put it back up and start again with the 240 and get it clean. And I'll sort of do those as well. I'm just going to give the sides a cursory hit, and I might just paint those white or something. Yeah, and the fronts I've just got to strip and sand, so I might do that after lunch. We'll see what happens, eh? Stay tuned. Okay, all stripped, all sanded. Well, not finished. That's done with the 40 grit. I've done it all twice with 40. Do with one sheet, then put a fresh sheet on. I managed to get these dark spots here I can't get out no matter how hard I lean on it. So I think it might be in the wood, but I think once I stain it, it'll come good. It might, a bit more might come out when I sand it with the 80 and the 240. What I'm going to do though, before I finish, I'm going to run my little router and just trim these edges up. Make them look a little bit prettier, I think. And once I finish sanding here, I'm going to see if maybe I can do these ones as well around the top. And I think you just make them look a little bit tidier, a bit nicer, rather than trying to sand them. And they're all over the place. That one's bigger than that one, so I might get that out in a minute and see. I've got to try and work my way around this workshop. It's starting to get a cluttered up fucking shit fight again. I think before, I'll probably have tomorrow off. Tomorrow's Sunday. Monday I'll come out and clean up before I continue on. But I'm going to get my router out and see how we go. If I can get it done successfully, I'll bring you back for another one. And I did one, and that's come up quite nice. Very uniform compared to that dog's breakfast that's on the rest of them. So I'll put you up somewhere and do another one. I've got to just finish that corner, see? And I'll do another one. Just give me 2 seconds, eh? A little bit of a hiccup there where I hit this, but I can sand that out, that's not a problem. Let me just hit this corner again. Well, boo-boo. Blood trail leading out the door and a big puddle of it out to the back door. So I took a fair chunk out of the end of my finger. And just I slipped and my finger went in there. That's not a really good fucking, not real safe, is it? And you see how far I had to go to actually get it inside that fucking thing there. So, well, you live and learn, don't you?